How to beat a narcissist at their own game and free yourself of their emotional and psychological abuse. Hey, my friend, if you've been struggling with narcissistic people in your life, and this video is more specific about, let's say, narcissistic friends, narcissistic mother, father, narcissistic boss. It's not so much about, let's say, a narcissistic wife or a husband, because the dynamics here are a little bit different. But if you want to beat a narcissist at their own game, stay with me until the end, because this one phrase I'll share with you and the exact way you need to communicate it with the narcissist will completely dissolve their sense of self and will let their exaggerated sense of overpowering you crumble totally to the ground. That being the case, if this is something you want to do with the narcissistic person in your life, stay with me until the end, and now let's directly get into a video. So first of all, if you want to beat a narcissist at their own game, it's really crucial to understand how a narcissist operates, my friend. So how a narcissist operates? Well, as simply as understanding that they don't have a stable sense of self. On the inside, they have this empty hole that they constantly need to fill with the opinion and validation of others for them to feel empowered, for them to feel strong and like secure and confident and like having or like at least holding this perception that they have power over others. They don't. Ultimately, on the inside, they are empty. And so, since they don't have a stable sense of self, they don't have a stable sense of identity, they always need to manipulate the opinions of other people in their life about their self, about who they are, for them to feel significant, for them to feel stable, for them to feel worthy. And now, understanding that this is the psychological mechanics which they use to feel so powerful, you can use this same process, this same mechanic against them to beat them at their own game. But initially, you need to understand how this works. So ultimately, a narcissist doesn't have an opinion of themselves. They don't. Their opinion of themselves is the collective, is like the combination of all the opinions of the other people in their life. Let's say their friends, social circles, like colleagues at work, their family, you, if you are in some form of relationship with a narcissist. They need to manipulate the perception, your perception about them, for them to feel significant, secure, and worthy. Now, understanding that this is the case, you also know that they're doing everything in their power to always maintain power over others, because they can only feel worthy within themselves if they have power over others. Because since they don't have a stable sense of themselves, a stable core, they don't have a stability within themselves. They don't have an opinion of themselves. That's why they always need to have power over others to manipulate their perception so that they can feel on top of them, so that they can feel secure, stable, worthy, so on and so forth. Now, it's all illusory. You understand that it's all illusory already. And now, with this understanding, what you need to do, and I will come to the phrase in a second, but with this understanding, what you need to do is to accept the fact that you cannot really hurt a narcissist if you play their own game. Meaning that you yourself need to become a little bit narcissistic, a little bit egocentric. You need to understand and accept the fact that you cannot hurt somebody who is already hurting. Like, they are already hurting, but they are trying to hide that with all their tools and like everything that they have at their disposal, all their manipulation tactics, gaslighting, projecting, so on and so forth. We've talked about this in previous videos, and you can check out my narcissist playlist here. So all the psychological tactics they use is to not take responsibility of their traumas and wounds and fears that they feel on the inside, this inner hole that they're trying to fill with the validation of others. So that's why they need to manipulate constantly the perception of other people about them. Now, understanding this simple fact, you can accept that you cannot really hurt a narcissist. Because I know that if you have narcissists in your life, what happens is that most likely you're the more sensitive one, right? So you have a deep, loving, decent, kind heart. You're kind-hearted, you're empathetic, you care for other people's feelings. You're a decent person in general. And so you want to try to help everybody. But you need to understand here that you cannot try to help somebody who isn't looking to be helped. A narcissist. They're not looking to be helped. They don't, like, they're already hurting and you can't do anything about that. The only thing you can do to help them heal is to reflect back to them who they are, instead of allowing them to manipulate you and compromising your own values, needs, boundaries, so on and so forth, so that you make them feel good. They're not feeling good either way, so you're not the one hurting them by sharing with them the truth. Now, do you understand that? Because this is the ground. Like, you need to have understanding of this ground. Because now, when you have understanding of this ground, now I want to share with you a story, and then I'll let you know what is this phrase you can use to beat a narcissist at their own game, when they start projecting, gaslighting, when they start ridiculing you so that they feel good about themselves. Let me share with you a story. I was living with this co-living partner who was at this stage my best friend. He was also a narcissist, and I was learning so much about myself through his reflection. That's why I decided to live with him. Eventually, and we had a lot of like social circles together. We had a lot of mutual friends, and he was always trying to put me down in the eyes of my friends so that he gains the status, and he's always like the better one in everything. And I wasn't allowing that as much. And so I knew that I had deep, honest relationships with my friends. So it wasn't working as much as he thought it was working. But he was still continuously trying to do so. This is one of the tactics that narcissists use. And so eventually we were together. We gathered together for like a New Year's party. We were welcoming the new year together with a bunch of friends, and we were just celebrating. And so we are having these really contemplative nights in which we don't party as much as we just think about our lives, self-reflect, and so on and so forth. This is what we were doing this new year. And so we were talking about feelings with all my friends, and him included. And I'm being more of a feminine guy sometimes. I have a really deep understanding of people's feelings. I'm also an empath. And so I was just talking to my friends that, like, I find it really valuable, and I find it really valuable trait if you can be vulnerable and transparent with your like lower vibrational feelings. Let's say with feelings of grief, of apathy, of guilt, of like feeling sadness, crying in front of your friends. I feel that as I see that as a strength. And I was just sharing that to my friends there, because we were having these emotionally vulnerable conversations. And I was helping them open up to be transparent with their feelings. And so here is this guy, the narcissistic friend of mine, who just said something like, oh, so he said something like, oh, so you're being so weak, and like you're being so weak and feminine within yourself about always wanting others to express their feelings. This is the only way you feel good about yourself. And I was like, because it didn't make any sense. It's like, what happened in this situation spontaneously is that I was just sharing my values with my friends. And so he said something like that from his place. And so at this moment I said to him, so the only way you can feel strong is by making other people around you feel weak. Is that how insecure you are within yourself? And I just asked him this question. And at this moment he was like, whoa, what the fuck? It was just like a rock that was thrown to him, that completely shattered his perception. Because this is how he was, in a way, trying to ridicule me into me being vulnerable with my feelings, and inviting my friends to also do that, because we were self-reflecting on the mistakes of our past year. And I said to him that so you can only feel strong and powerful when you're invalidating the weaker humans around you? Is this how insecure you feel within yourself? Like, trust me, my friend, you deserve better. Why would you tolerate that? Is that how insecure you feel, really? And so I just asked him that. And then he didn't, like, there was nothing for him to reply. So now this is exactly what you can do. Because by understanding what the narcissist does, like why he's projecting, why he's always gaslighting, because he doesn't have a strong, stable sense of self. And so I wouldn't share the whole of that story, but how it ended was that eventually, together with him, we had really deep and vulnerable conversations in which he actually understood why it is in his benefit to empower other people around him rather than disempower him, which is what he was doing before that, so that he can feel on top of them, right? Because this is, again, what narcissists do. And I am a firm believer that narcissists can actually change. So, but it needs to be their decision. You cannot save them. You can only reflect to them who they are, and with what you're reflecting to them, they can make their own decision to change. And they might need your support later, but you cannot make that decision for them. So anyway, getting back to what you can share with a narcissist when he's gaslighting you or projecting you, or he's ridiculing you and trying to put you down so that he feels better about himself, to feel that inner hole that he cannot feel in any other way, what you can say in that moment is simply this: are you so insecure within yourself that you need to invalidate my opinion and my feelings in order for you to prove your own sense of self-worth? What are you trying to do here? Look, man, I feel you, but please pull yourself together. You deserve more. So by saying something like that, you're basically reflecting back to the narcissist what they're trying to do unconsciously. You're bringing light to their unconscious strategies that they're trying to use to fill that infinite void within themselves. And so you're giving the narcissist the opportunity to heal. But you need to be strong to do that, because, and like, you need to be support, like you need to know that you have the support of other people around you. Because let's say when you're in a romantic relationship with a narcissist, and let's say they're your wife or your husband, and you're just the two of you together, and it's already like you've been gaslighted and they've projected onto you all their bullshit for years, for 4 years already, and you come and you say something like that, they will attack you with all their tools. Like, they will use all their tools at their disposal to attack you and to just destroy you. So you shouldn't use that phrase in such an environment. In such an environment, it's better to go no contact, or it's better to just go like the rock method. Yeah, the gray rock method, which is another tactic I explained. Again, you can use against narcissists to when you're having a conversation with them and they're gaslighting or they're projecting. But I will attach the videos at the end of this video where you can check out more about these tools you can use when you're handling narcissists in your relationships. So this phrase, my friend, only use it when you have the support of other people around you. Because when you're speaking the truth has power. But you need to trust that power. You need to have confidence within yourself that you will not linger, you will not sway, you will not be swayed when they go with something when they attack you with something really aggressive, because they will. If you're alone with them, they will. In my case, in this story I shared with you, I was surrounded by my friends who supported me. And when he said something like that, it was actually in his benefit. And so he felt a little bit ashamed, but then eventually he thanked me for reflecting back to him this shadow of his. So yeah, you can try this phrase. It's really powerful, but it will have consequences. And the consequences will be that the narcissist will attack you. But this, my friend, is how you can beat a narcissist in their own game. First, you need to accept that you cannot really hurt a narcissist because they're already hurting. So by reflecting the way they're hurting and they're trying to run away from their pain, you're not doing them something bad. Like, you're not hurting them by yourself. No, you're actually doing them a favor, because you're highlighting a pain, a wound they have on the inside that eventually they will take responsibility of. And so by saying this phrase, are you so insecure within yourself that you need to invalidate my opinion and my feelings in order for you to validate your own sense of self-worth? What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to prove here? I feel you, but please pull yourself together. You deserve better. Saying something like that, it will only work when you fully believe it and when you understand how the narcissist operates. So definitely give it a try if you're dealing with a narcissistic boss, a narcissistic colleague in your like work environment, a narcissistic friend, or a narcissistic ex when you've already broken up. But if he's your or she's your life or husband, it's not the best approach. There are better approaches you can try. That being the case, my friend, this was everything I wanted to share in this video. So I trust you found it to be helpful. Now, if this is the case, like it, comment down below. Let me know what is your experience with narcissists. And if you want to empower yourself and you're absolutely tired of experiencing like codependent, toxic, destructive relationship dynamics in your life, and you're looking to fully transform yourself, your relationships radically 180 degrees in the next 3 to 4 months, definitely check out the free training I have below, in which you understand what are the 3 phases you pass through, the 3 phases of inner work you pass through until you surround yourself with only conscious, uplifting, and meaningful relationships with everybody in your life. So if you want to attract people who support and lift you up, check out a training. I'm sure you'll find it really valuable. That being the case, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now. I love you, my friend.